Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a story. The story is titled, The Moment Boy Pretended to Sleep. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you appreciate me. You can skip this if you don't and oppose. Like this video. Thank you very much. The story begins as follows. Boy had a very special talent. It wasn't catching balls mid-air or guarding the house with a heroic bark or even sitting politely for treats. Boy's greatest talent, one he practiced with absolute dedication, was pretending to sleep. That morning began like any other. Sunlight slipped through the thin curtains, painting pale stripes across the floor. The house was quiet except for the gentle hum of the fan and the distant sounds of the neighborhood waking up. I sat at my desk with a warm cup of coffee, scrolling through messages, trying to convince myself to start the day properly. On the floor beside me lay Boy. He was stretched out on his favorite spot, belly up, paws slightly curled, tail resting lazily against the cool tiles. His eyes were closed, his breathing slow and steady, too steady. Anyone who didn't know him well would have thought he was fast asleep, lost in a peaceful dog dream filled with treats and endless fields. But I knew better, because every now and then, just for a fraction of a second, one eye would crack open. Not enough to be obvious, just enough to check. Was I standing up? Was I reaching for the leash? Was I walking toward the kitchen? No. Good. Back to sleep. I smiled without realizing it. Boy wasn't lazy. He was strategic. The truth was, Boy had already gone on his morning walk. He had already eaten breakfast. He had already received his daily dose of ear scratches and soft praise. In his mind, he had fulfilled all his responsibilities for the day. Any further requests, like, let's practice commands, or come help me clean, were completely unnecessary. So he pretended to sleep. I cleared my throat on purpose. Boy didn't move. I stood up slowly, stretching my arms. Still nothing. Then I whispered the magic word, soft and gentle. Snack. Nothing happened. Not a twitch. Not a tail wag. Boy was committed. But when I took one step toward the kitchen, I saw it again. That tiny movement. His ear flicked. His breathing changed just slightly. His whole body was still, but his mind was wide awake, carefully calculating whether this was worth breaking character. It wasn't. Boy stayed asleep. And in that quiet moment, watching my dog pretend so sincerely, I felt something warm settle in my chest. Life was moving fast outside these walls, but right here, right now, time had slowed to match the gentle rhythm of a dog who had decided that rest, real or fake, was the most important thing in the world. Boy didn't always pretend to sleep. He had learned it over time, through careful observation and experience. When he was younger, he responded to everything. Every sound, every movement, every small change in the room. If I stood up, he stood up. If I grabbed my phone, he followed. If I sighed too loudly, he appeared beside me like a fluffy therapist, eyes full of concern. But as he grew older, wiser, and more comfortable in our shared routine, Boy realized something important. Not every moment required action. Some moments required rest. Some required watching. And some required pretending very convincingly. That afternoon, I decided to test him. I sat on the couch and opened my laptop. Boy lay on the floor nearby, once again deeply asleep. His paws twitched occasionally, as if he were chasing something in a dream. His mouth was slightly open, giving him an expression of pure innocence. I typed loudly on purpose. Click, click, click. Nothing. Then I reached for my bag, the one that usually meant errands, or worse, the vet. Boy's eyes stayed shut. His face was calm, but his tail, traitorously, gave one slow wag against the floor. I almost laughed out loud. He knew. He always knew. Instead of calling him, I sat back down. I didn't rush him. I didn't force him to get up. I simply stayed there, sharing the space, letting the silence stretch comfortably between us. After a few minutes, something changed. Boy sighed. It was a deep, dramatic sigh, the kind that carried a lot of meaning. Slowly, with exaggerated effort, he rolled onto his side. One eye opened fully now, dark and gentle, meeting mine. Oh, his expression seemed to say, you're still here. Then, as if he had just woken up naturally, he stood, walked over, and placed his head on my knee. Not because I asked, not because he had to, but because he wanted to. I ran my fingers through his fur, feeling its familiar warmth. Boy closed his eyes again, this time for real. No pretending, no checking, just trust. In that moment, I realized something simple but powerful. Boy's pretending wasn't about avoiding me. It was about feeling safe enough to choose rest, knowing that when he truly wanted connection, it would still be there. Part 3. A small moment, a big feeling. That evening, the house grew quiet once more. The sky outside turned soft shades of orange and purple. I turned off the lights and sat on the floor, leaning against the couch. Boy settled beside me, curling into a comfortable ball. He didn't pretend this time. He slept deeply, breathing slow and uneven, completely relaxed. His body leaned slightly toward mine, as if even in sleep, he wanted to make sure we stayed connected. I thought about how small the moment had been. A dog pretending to sleep. A human noticing. Nothing dramatic. Nothing impressive. And yet, it stayed with me. Because Boy wasn't just a dog lying on the floor. He was a reminder. A reminder that it's okay to pause. A reminder that not every call needs an answer. A reminder that rest is not laziness, it's wisdom. Boy didn't pretend to sleep because he didn't care. He pretended because he understood balance. He gave his love freely, but he also protected his peace. And when he chose to wake up, to come closer, to place his head on my leg, it meant something. As the day ended, I rested my hand on his back, feeling the gentle rise and fall. I didn't reach for my phone. I didn't think about tomorrow. I stayed there, fully present, learning silently from a dog who never needed words to teach me something important. Boy's small habit of pretending to sleep may seem funny and harmless, but it quietly reflects something meaningful about how animals and humans can learn from each other. In today's busy world, people often feel pressured to always respond, always move, always do more. We answer messages instantly, rush through meals, and forget how to truly rest. Boy reminds us that it's okay to slow down. It's okay to pause without guilt. Rest is not avoidance. It is a way of caring for ourselves. From Boy, we learn the value of awareness. Even while pretending to sleep, he stays gently aware of his surroundings, choosing when to engage and when to simply exist. Humans can apply this by setting healthy boundaries, knowing when to participate and when to recharge. We also learn respect from this moment. Instead of forcing Boy to wake up, I allowed him his space, and in return, he offered genuine affection when he was ready. The bond between humans and animals grows strongest in these quiet, respectful moments. When we listen to animals, not with words, but with patience, we create relationships built on trust, empathy, and mutual understanding. And in that shared calm, both lives become warmer and more meaningful.